So welcome to Friday tea practice. We don't usually go live on Fridays, but we have to do so today because we have a little bit of wrapping up to do. Today is the very last day of the cold brew challenge here at Tea Curious. Short little challenge for August. We usually do a monthly challenge, as many of you know, but from August 1 to August today, we've been doing a cold brew challenge here, and it's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys have been, experimenting with cold brew, cold preparation of tea. We said that, it doesn't have just to be cold brew. It can be iced tea. It can be making, koridashi, which is ice that you allow to melt on a tea. You could, infuse stuff in everything. Whatever cold tea preparations you got up to this week, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We were really, really happy to see how creative everyone else was, and it's been really fun. Yeah. So welcome to today's tea practice again. Saying hello to you from Las Vegas. Let's see our friends. Steven's right beside me. Eric's here. Dolly meets. Jeremy, nice to see you. Celia, Beck's next, and Yoshi Doyak. Welcome to tea practice today, and I hope you guys are having a nice day. Yeah. Eric says that he slipped this particular challenge. Eric, there's still time. If you do an ice brew, so if those of you who are thinking you still need 1 or 2 or 3 more to go, the goal is to do 3 this week. Today is the last day, so it's not too late to do something. But you can do an ice brew. It's basically, you've seen it on our stories. You allow ice to kind of melt onto the tea over time, or you sprinkle tea leaves on top to let the ice melt. So there's totally still time for you guys to do it today. So yeah, I really invite you to give it a shot. So today we will be trying a couple different setups that we have done over the last 24 hours. I am not an early person. I am a definitely putting things towards the end kind of person. So there's a lot of stuff on my table. We've got some ice brew from last night that I just want to, just discuss. We've got some maple water that we set up. We got some San Pellegrino that we set up as well. Hopping on the sparkling water train that we started with the La Croix experiment a couple weeks ago. And then we also did one last kind of cold brew and water bottle experiment just to see if cold brew tea and bottled water will make just as much of a difference as it does with hot brewed bottled waters. So quite a bit of stuff that we have to get through today. But we'll just taste through, and then we'll also talk about what you guys have been doing with your cold brew challenge as well. This is not the end of it. I'm thinking of so many other things we could have done during the 7 days that we just don't have time to finish now. But the point of this challenge is for us to kind of expand our horizons with the tea brewing process. I think that, like Eric says, I like hot tea. I really prefer to brew tea with a bit more heat, with more control. I feel super confident making tea with a teapot, but if you're forced to try to make tea in a different situation, let's say what if you don't have a kettle with you, or what if the water that you have, you can't boil it, or what if you're with people who don't drink hot drinks? Are you just gonna, oh, okay, I give up, can't make tea. You don't like to drink hot tea, then you and I can't have tea. We could either do that, or we could learn how to make tea taste really, really delicious with a cold preparation as well. So that was the point of this, and also just to have a little bit of fun. I think this is a really fun challenge. We've been having some really intense challenges lately. So yeah, I'm not sure which one we're going to start with. What do you think we should do? I want to try all of them. Yeah. Let us know what you guys are drinking today. Let us know where you guys are signing in from today. Again, we're from Las Vegas, which is perfectly timed for the cold brew challenge because it's hot as balls outside. It's really hot. Tanya Landia and Charlo, nice to see you guys. Apathy, Abby from Thunderhawk, Lisa B, nice to see you guys too. Daria, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Couple people who've already done the challenge so far. Eric says he's done a cold brew on Fujian. It wasn't good. And I agree. It's we like to say we have fun, but honestly, sometimes stuff doesn't work out quite as well. One of those for me is something on the table that me and Steven disagreed on actually. So let's start with yesterday's ice brew. Those of you who follow our stories may have seen us post about these bowls yesterday. We ice brewed tea that's not typically used for ice brewing. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then let's crack into the sparkling water cold brew with San Pellegrino, which includes a silver needle that I borrowed from Shiloh as an idea. Then we'll go to this mysterious one that I posted yesterday that is icking Steven out a little bit, but I'm really excited about that one. And then we'll talk a little bit again about water. We cold brewed tea in 5 different brands of bottled water. Yes, I am trying to move away from bottled water heavily, but I'm spending one last little bit of time testing out the bottled waters in the market just to make super sure that we're covering all our bases in terms of how, our tea curious water, which we're about to publish probably next week, how it compares to when it gets brewed in a bottle like this. So, I think August is going to be our last plastic bottle month. It's going to be very exciting. So yeah. Oh, and then we got our maple water brew. Like I said, I'm always pushing all my ideas towards the end. So yesterday I'm like, Steven, we got to do sparkling water, and then the maple water, and then the. So, yeah, it's been fun. I hope you guys have been doing the same in terms of just exploring and stuff like that. So yeah, Hide Stock, welcome to Tea Practice today, and Marco from Steve Tea, welcome. Let's discuss some of the stuff. Again, let us know what you guys are drinking. I'll be having some American breakfast, a mix of black tea and oolong. We've had really just the remnants of yesterday's tea today. We had so much tea. Yeah. Let's start with the ice brew. So yesterday, as I started to introduce earlier on, we set up 2 ice brew experiments with teas that are not usually used for ice brew. Ice brew, you might have seen it called koridashi. I think people call it shinobicha too. Koridashi, it's spelled Kouridashi. Sometimes you'll see it spelled Kooridashi. That's just because of the way the Japanese words are kind of typed out. Sometimes you see an OU, sometimes you see an OO, or like an O with a dash on top. All those forms of spelling koridashi are actually the same method. But it's usually used for Japanese green tea, most especially Japanese green tea that's pretty high quality, let's say like a Yokuro or shaded sencha, high-end sencha, etc. So if you look online, most of the people who, even us, we've mostly been doing ice brew with Japanese green tea. So anyone been doing ice brew? I think a lot of us have been doing ice brew. We've done quite a bit over this week. Let us know if you guys have been doing it. But you'll mostly see that, it gets paired up with Japanese green tea. It's just more of a natural kind of, match. The ice allows us to extract kind of like those umami and sweet flavors that we like from Japanese green teas. And then also just physically speaking, the way that Japanese green teas arrive to us, they're just a tiny bit softer than other kinds of tea. Like imagine how soft the Japanese sencha leaf is compared to, let's say, a pu'er brick or a Taiwanese oolong that's rolled up. It's just a little bit harder. So it takes a longer time for the ice water to steep into those. Therefore, it's just a little bit less successful, at least theoretically, right? But I don't know. I actually have not really ice brewed that much outside of Japanese greens. So we tried over this, last couple of days, a couple different styles. On your left, this is a Nepalese black tea that we tried to ice brew. This is Junchiabai Autumnal. Autumnal Fall. Junchiabai Fall Harvest from Camellia sinensis from last year. Incredible tea, really fantastic Nepalese tea. I've been to Nepal and it makes me very happy that Camellia has a better Nepalese tea than I could have found there. So it's just incredible tea. And then on your right, we have 2002 aged baozong from Ilan in Taiwan. Really unusual tea to cold brew at all, even, let alone ice brew. So this is Steven's weirdo experiment. And yeah, I disagree with Steven. I liked my choice, the Junshibari. What I did, I lined the bowl with leaves. So you can either choose to put your leaves on top of the ice or on the bottom. If you put it on top, it's a little bit more gentle because the ice kind of like dissolves underneath the leaves and won't crush them. But sometimes you'll see, you know, people and me put the leaves on the bottom as well. That is going to steep them just a little bit stronger because of the weight of the ice pressing down on the leaves. So I did that in this case because I figured as a black tea could probably handle it, you know. Yeah, it actually turned out extremely good. I've left it sitting, you know, with just another steep this morning just to talk about it with you guys. And honestly, it's so sweet and full and honey-like and kind of fruity. I'm finding that in our cold brews, our ice brews, we're bringing out notes that are just a tiny bit there in the hot brew process, and then they explode in a huge way once it comes to the ice brew. We did gosh, someone's gonna have to spank you against Steven. So Steven decided to also ice brew a Gushu white tea from Yunnan province. It's a Linsang old tree pu'er, basically, that he decided to ice brew. So white tea made with pu'er trees in Linsang, Gushu ancient tree, ice brew. Yeah, so lots of buzzwords. It was really tasty, but it tasted like pho, like basil and kind of like herbaceous, and some of the notes that we are just glimpsing a little bit in the hot brew process come out in full using ice brew. So if there's something kind of interesting in terms of the hot brew that you'd like to emulate, try to like pull it out more, I really highly recommend trying to do an ice brew with it because you might be able to pull it. Using that here, this tea is usually very well balanced, but this one is super honey-like, really chocolatey, really delicious with almost no bitterness. I really like the result from this. So conclusion, koridashi ice brew is usually used for Japanese green tea, but I think we can definitely use it for black tea as well. The challenge is to be able to, this is why I kept it overnight. You might notice that some of the bits of leaves are still dry. And that's a challenge we need to solve with ice brew, is when the ice melts, you're not guaranteed to get the full coverage of the water over the leaves. And that's kind of a problem with the tea brewing process because just from what we've seen, the more consistent we can get the infusion, the better. So I gotta think of ways to like make the ice more even, maybe crush the ice beforehand, crush the leaves beforehand. I did crush the leaves just a tiny bit to try to get them more even. But again, we don't really want these like dry floaties on top. The dry floaties means that the tea wasn't infused in water. So, I mean, you know, it's not consistent. We're also not getting the flavor that's trapped in those leaves. They didn't get, you know, to join the party. So I think we got to think of ways to make this better next time so that our ice brew is more consistent. But overall, I really love this. As for Steven's, I think subjectively, I don't like it because it tastes like raisins. Am I gonna drink it again? Oh my god, it's so raisiny! Okay, so for those of you guys who like the taste of chocolate-covered raisins, this is your jam. This tastes like chocolate-covered raisins, doesn't it, Steven? This is Steven's pick for the ice brew kind of exploration. It's a 2002 aged, unroasted, been kind of just hanging out at my teacher's house for the last 18 years. An 18-year-old oolong that he ice brewed. And yeah, I can step aside from my hate of raisins and actually say this is very delicious. It's just incredible. It's really good. Yeah, it's honestly quite good. I just wish it didn't taste like raisins. But chocolate-covered raisins, I swear. It just tastes like it. Steven, can you kind of agree with that? You know, like...
Tasting notes?
Yeah. I know you don't do tasting notes, but... It's more fruity, it's more chocolatey, it's more sweet. Zero bitterness. even if we kind of like let it sit overnight afterwards. I wanted to bring it today to talk about them, but we did this yesterday, and it's pretty much similar tasting to what it was last night. No bitterness. It's crazy. Why is that? Part of it is the fact that we are using really good leaves for this experiment. If you have tried ice brew before, it's not panning out, it's kind of bitter, you might want to just try to use a higher quality tea, because I find that just taking a note from the experts in Japan, they tend to use higher quality green tea for a reason for ice brew. Higher quality tea can just kind of manage being slowly infused like that over a long period of time. So even if it's kind of scary to use your high quality tea, I think it's pretty good. Pretty good to test it out. Yeah. Tyler says, have you ever tried an ice brew with water? I guess it's just an iced water brew. I think that's a good idea, because I think what you're saying is steep the tea cold but also have ice cubes on it. I think that's going to be different as well, because ice water is going to be a lot colder than just leaving the tea inside the fridge. So it's a really good idea. Shiloh says, re-tolerating raisin flavor. Yeah, it is quite multifaceted. This is probably the best raisiny tasting tea experience I've ever had. Honestly, I kind of like it. I'm going to say that I retract my dislike of it, and now that I can think about it as being chocolate-covered raisins, it's okay. Or kind of like those Brookstone chocolate-covered acai berries from Costco. Kind of like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's got that berry thing and a sweet, kind of like cacao-like flavor. Really good. Okay, like, I take it back. This is really delicious. It's just a mental block of the raisin tasting note. But if I just think about it as being like chocolate-covered blueberries or chocolate-covered acai berries, or acai, I don't know, it tastes really, really good. So, success is there. In conclusion, ice brew does not have to be limited just to Japanese green tea. We can use it for anything, as long as we are able to control for the leaves being infused correctly. So, you know, we just need to make sure that when the ice is slowly melting, we're able to cover all the leaves. We have an even infusion. We don't have like the floaties, you know, that don't get infused because the ice doesn't melt to cover those. But yes, green light, go ahead and try doing ice brew with other things too. Really, really, really good. I'm not just saying that though. I'm not just saying, oh, you know, experimenting is good. These are really dope. It just tastes really, really good. I'd be honest with you to say if it didn't taste good. So, yeah. So 2 successes so far. We'll put these to the side. Let's bring in the car for a car item later, Steven. Next one. What should we do next? We've still got our sparkling water, we've got our maple water, we've got our bottled waters. I'm not sure if I'll have time to do those. Let's make sure to do our crazy cold brew experiments first. And those of you who are just joining in, we're just kind of wrapping up the last of the cold brew challenge here at Tea Curious. Last day is today. If you want to hop on it, there's still enough time. You know, cold brew takes about 8 hours. If you're using a green tea, you shake it a little bit, so there's time. You can do an ice brew, you can try infusing, you can try making tea ice cubes, you know. We have a batch of oolong ice cubes in the fridge right now. So many different things you can do. And again, the more that we can experiment with different ways to make tea show up, not just in a gaiwan or a pot, I think the more versatile we get, the more kind of confident we get. And the more you learn about the tea, you know, because I didn't know the friggin' Elan 2002 could taste like chocolate-covered raisins. Jesus. Just get to know the tea a little bit better. Yeah. Let's do the sparkling water. I'm kind of into that right now. So, San Pellegrino, why I chose this water, it's because it's the one that Shiloh from the Erden used. I don't honestly drink a lot of sparkling water, so I don't know the differences between like Perrier and San Pellegrino and whatever, so I just chose whatever Shiloh did. So here's the cool thing about knowing what water we're all using. If you and I both buy San Pellegrino, and San Pellegrino is being honest with us and saying that it's the same source for all their bottles, we have a rare opportunity to compare tea in the exact same flavor profile, more or less, from far away. So the problem is that if you and I are brewing, let's say a milk oolong, you know, let's ring and say, you know, hey Alex, Christine, you guys are over at your house. How's the milk oolong that I gave you? While they have the same tea, they're not gonna have the same water. So even if you have the same gaiwan, same cup, etc., but your water is different, plus then you're brewing, and then, you know, other factors that go on during the tea making process, you're not gonna get the exact same flavor profile, right? That's why we have so many teas that, you know, some person's like, oh, it tastes like cherry and pine, and then the other person's like, what are you talking about? I don't get that. I get like it's more kind of citrusy. And then someone else might be like, I don't get any of that. It just kind of tastes like tea. And a little bit of that is brewing skill for sure, but a lot of it is the fact that we're not using the same water and teaware, as we found during Teaware Olympics. Once you have different teaware, different brewing technique, different water, different temperature, different preparation, even if we have the exact same tea from the same vendor, it's pretty rare for us to be experiencing the same thing. So when Shiloh was like, oh my god, you know, he's doing the San Pellegrino with the silver needle. Yes, it's not the same silver needle, but we're doing the same silver needle. We can kind of experience the same thing that the water wants to give us in this kind of rare case. I'm really excited to try it out. I did pour out a little bit of the San Pellegrino to taste because I wanted to get acquainted with the taste of San Pellegrino. I don't know if that's going to change how the tea stayed carbonated because there's a gap in the bottle. So we'll see what happens. We got two here. One is the Silver Needle sparkling cold brew that I got from Shiloh from the other day. And then we decided to, with you guys' suggestions, do a second cold brew using Darjeeling. Kind of like thinking, you know, champagne of tea, sparkling, bubbly, Darjeeling with San Pellegrino. Let's see if we can make the champagne of tea kind of manifest. Since we, you know, I wonder who came up with that. Darjeeling is a champagne of tea. Mm-hmm. Do you think it was a tea person or a wine person? I feel like it was probably a wine person, right? Stevie, can you help with this? Boyfriend, help. Again, let us know how you guys are doing over there. Cold brews that you guys are doing today, experiments, etc. Successes, failures, especially the failures. Sometimes I'm more interested in the failures than the successes. But yeah, let us know how you guys are doing, how your cold brew challenge is doing. Yeah. All right, so let's smell this baby. Let's smell and taste the Silver Needle that's been brewed in San Pellegrino overnight, about maybe 20 hours. Oh my god. I've never smelled that before. That's so aromatic. Wow. It's also speaking to me. It's so bubbly inside. Okay, cool. So I will try to decant this without using the filter because I think that using a filter might decrease the texture of the tea. What I mean is if I use this, I could use this to kind of filter the leaves out. As we found using another experiment, sometimes the filter can kind of thin out the texture of the tea. And I know, Shiloh, one of the big things you noted in your experiment was how amazing the texture was. So I'm going to try to preserve that. It looks beautiful. So we did get some color on it, you know, even from like a overnight steep. I used same ratio as Shiloh, 6 to 8 grams for every half liter of water. And then I also hot steeped the tea briefly for a rinse to kind of open it up before putting it into San Pellegrino. Oh my god! Wow! Holy crap! That's really good. I'm never having wine again. This is it. That's delicious. Oh my god, that's delicious. Wow! Wow! Oh my god, Shiloh, you are onto something. Steven, you're gonna love this. This is insane. That's like, you know, all the times anyone's ever said, I'm gonna make a tea soda. This is it. Like, this is better. And it's better than any nitro tea I've ever had or anything. That's just delicious. It's so refreshing. And it gets better as time goes on. Wow. Holy crap. That's delicious. Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so, you know, Steven and I don't drink. I used to drink just a little bit of wine to taste, but I'm too sensitive to it, so I don't anymore. I'm kind of happy because I feel like if I just replace all of my like wine tasting experience with just cold brewing tea in San Pellegrino, I can totally live my life. And, you know, San Pellegrino, yes, it's fancy water, but it's not like a $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 bottle of wine. And it looks just as fancy. You should show up like this to like a wedding party, Stephen. Like, oh my god, that's a 10 out of 10. I'm serious. Shiloh, you're right. It's a thing. I'm quite caught off guard by how good this is. Because there's a range of expectation I think you guys have, or I have as well, of how good a cold brew will be or how good something will turn out. And this just goes off the charts in terms of what I thought I would get from this. It's extremely tasty. And even better, it's a kind of experience that's better the more that you're drinking, which I think is a really good sign for any kind of tea experience. Like if the first sip is the best and it just goes downhill, I think there's a problem. The best tea experiences are the ones that build up rather than down. You know, it's really delicious. Really, really good. Oh my god. That's very fancy. Jeremy, I know that you're here. You said on one of your notes on Discord, on the Cold Brew Challenge channel, that one of your cold brews felt like it was too fancy. Like, it tasted like something that's more expensive than we could afford. And this tastes like it. It's extremely fancy. That's like, I feel like I would pay like $10, $12 at a bar for that. It's just really, really tasty. Or like a fancy brunch place, you know, like really hipster, like the restaurant with like an and name in the middle, you know, like rooster and hen, or bread and butter, or, you know, lavender and cream, that kind of place, kind of breakfast place, kind of like hip and stuff. They would probably serve a bottle of this for like $26 and then like a glass for like $11. Basically, it tastes amazing. It's crazy. Wow. Holy crap. Yeah. Shiloh says carbonation adds a lot of textural complexity. Yeah, the texture is so big. Very, very satisfying. I find that cold brew, I think the one thing that we've noticed with cold brew is that sometimes the texture is a little bit thin. I'm looking for a little bit more oomph in my cold brew. And this covers it. This is a Silver Needle. Really incredible. Holy crap. It's really, really good. Yeah, and then for us, the texture is really, really good, but the flavor is also bigger than I thought it would be. It's not super overpowering, but I wouldn't call it subtle in our case. Maybe our tea kind of opened up a little bit, but wow, it's really, really good. This is like an older Silver Needle with a little bit more leaves in it, so a little bit more kind of body and flavor got into the tea than like a typical Silver Needle. You can look up, you know, differences between Silver Needle on the Silver Needle post on the site. But basically it's this is a 10 out of 10. Yeah. Shiloh, you suck. This is really good. Congrats to you. This should be a thing. Yeah, this is the best cold brew I've had this week, I think. Yeah. Even including all the amazing ice brews we've had, I think this is the best. Holy crap. Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's just really, really good. To explain a little bit more about that Silver Needle situation, some Silver Needle will not have these leaves, but they on purpose let the Silver Needle like grow just a tiny bit more to get a little bit more body in it. It's also more economical. So it's like a lower, I mean like a little bit older Silver Needle. You might even argue that this is like white peony king, meaning like a high grade white peony because it has leaves already. But yeah, wow. If you look inside the bottle, it's mostly buds, just little leaves slipped out. But it's just delicious. Holy crap! Wow. I don't wanna keep going. How can anything be better than this? My goodness. Jeremy says, almost feeling bad drinking this for free. I totally agree. And then I think Celia said something about trying to infuse in champagne. I was thinking about that too. What if you infuse tea in like champagne or like a hoppy, like a beer or kombucha? I don't know. The thing is, there's gonna be a lot of like crap that sucks. We shouldn't do it. But until you have the ability to take those risks, to find the 1 in 10 holy shit moments like this, I think it's worth it. Even better, that's why we should practice together, because it would have taken me so much longer to figure out that this was a good match, if not just hearing from Shiloh. So if you see someone say something online and they're like, holy crap, this is amazing, do it, because it's gonna save you some time and you know, most of the best ideas I've ever gotten have been, at least in part, inspired by someone else telling me something. There are no original ideas, I think. So if someone's like, oh, I've ice brewed black tea before, I'm like, well, congrats that you're the first one. But we're all gonna do it together. I think it's just better that way. The congrats should go to Shiloh. My god, this is so delicious. Screw that. That's really good. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the Darjeeling one. That's upsetting. So good. All right. Wow, it's so good. Damn it, it's so good, Shiloh. It's really, really good. All right, let's try the Darjeeling one. Oh my god! Did I not pour off enough? Should I let go? It's making sounds like it wants to explode. I'm scared. Oh my god. Okay. I don't want to clean off Darjeeling cold brew from my walls. Shiloh, did this happen to you with the silver needle as well? He did tell me to pour out a little bit, and I did, but maybe not enough. Wow, this is really interesting. Oh my god! I'm gonna take a Darjeeling shower. I'm so nervous. Should I just do it? Should I just do it? Let's just pop it like a bottle of champagne, right? Okay, thanks. I'm so scared! Oh god. You guys with me? Is this gonna explode up to the ceiling? I'm so nervous. I think it's done. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. All right. All right. Cool. 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 Okay, we're alive. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Oh no! Oh no! The tea is just coming out. All right. That's like a science experiment. So yeah. All right. I should have poured out just a little bit more of the water. Props to Shiloh. You did tell me to do this, but I don't think I poured enough. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I was scared because, you know, watching YouTube videos, whenever someone's about to open something, it just explodes. Like, there's just too many nice things in this room for something to explode. All right. Whew. Can you get a towel? Gosh. That was fun. All right. I think it's becoming very obvious that I don't usually deal with sparkling stuff. That looks like a science experiment right now. Oh my god. All right. Cool. So I will filter this out. Wow. Whew. Scary. So note to self, pour off a significant amount of water before oh my god, now the tea is stuck. Oh my god, stuff keeps happening. Stuff keeps happening. All right, that's enough. Yeah, cool, we got some. Okay. So much for like my fancy brunch, like fancy Pellegrino experience. That's okay. This is the Darjeeling. The reason why that didn't happen with the other one is because I poured off quite a bit more water in the other one. I didn't pour off enough water in this one, so I'm gonna unclog that And yeah, we're safe. So if you can, when you're gonna do this, try to like pour off a little bit of sparkling water. Jesus. Oh my god. Shiloh says I did use a different bottle, so that let a little of the carbonated pressure out. No wonder. And I was wondering how you stuffed all the tea leaves inside the bottle. So our second San Pellegrino experiment is Darjeeling. We used a first flush Darjeeling from last year. This is Gadapahar. Really delicious. I think probably my favorite Darjeeling from last year. I didn't try a lot of Darjeeling last year, but that was by far my favorite of the ones that I tried. This is from my friend Cheryl in the Philippines. When I visited her, she had the opportunity to visit Gadapahar last year and got some of the first flash that she gave to me. So lots of stories with this tea. I hope this goes well with our experiment. Seeing if sparkling water can make Darjeeling actually do the champagne thing. Let's try it out. Ooh! Oh my gosh! Dude, okay. Whoever called Darjeeling the champagne of tea, maybe you also did this with San Pellegrino. It's really delicious. Holy crap. It does taste like champagne. Is that just me? Wow. It's very fruity. Wow, and I don't know if it's just me like psychologically like inserting that taste in, but it does taste a little bit alcoholic. Just got that kind of like punch. Very crisp, very like refreshing. Holy, yeah, this is really good. Just wow. Steven, you should try it out. Have Bella try some too. Really delicious. So in this case, I did not rinse the Darjeeling in the beginning, just because I figured it might be able to infuse by itself a little bit better. So this is just dry leaf that I put into the San Pellegrino, let to infuse overnight. I eyeballed the ratio this time. I didn't use the same ratio as earlier, just enough to kind of cover the top. Kind of like the same thing I do for everything. I just cover the bottom. Really good, really tasty. Yeah, jeez, delicious. Wow, this is my new favorite thing. I don't know if Perrier is better for this stuff, but San Pellegrino, man, very satisfying. I feel like I'm buying a drink at the store. Even better if the waiter is there to just do the thing for me, because I don't even know. I was so scared earlier. Cool. All right, let's move on. That's really tasty. I think I like the Silver Needle one just a tiny bit better. I think the Silver Needle had a little bit more leaf per water ratio, so the taste was stronger. But I really do like the Darjeeling one as well. I think I want to make it sit a little bit longer because the taste of the Silver Needle was so big and just perfectly matched that. Yeah, it's delicious. This is also the top 5 cold brews we've had this week, I think. Did you like it, Steven? I think it's really refreshing. Tasty. Yeah. Okay, let's move on because we're running out of time. Let's do the maple water one. So we've done ice brewed, we've done San Pellegrino with Silver Needle white tea, and then also Darjeeling black tea. Let's do this next one. This is a maple water cold brew that we got from the store. The maple water for like $1.50 on sale, which is great. We've been influenced very heavily by our Canadian friends lately. And so I picked a Karigane Hojicha here. This is the kukicha, the stems from Gyokuro production. So when they make Gyokuro in Japan, you know I'm burpy. Gosh, I'm not used to drinking carbonated drinks. So when they make the Gyokuro in Japan, you know, the shaded tea that they shade for like 2, hopefully more than 2, 3, 4 weeks to shade the tea and bring out a little bit more umami and sweetness out of it. When they make Gyokuro, they also remove the stems from the leaves. Then they make a kukicha out of it that's called karigane. So when you see karigane, it's specifically the stems from gyokuro. They're going to be a little bit more high in like amino acids, because of the by ratio, because of the way that gyokuro is made. So it's a very sweet, very refined, really delicious hojicha, kukicha. I say hojicha because this is roasted. So it's kukicha, hojicha from gyokuro, basically. Those three things together made a baby, and it's karigane. So I picked this because I read that maple water actually has a non-zero amount of amino acids in it. What I mean is maple water has amino acids in it. So I was interested to see if we could play with the fact that maple water has amino acids and see if it kind of matches up with the amino acids we find in tea, especially karigane. And then we picked a roasted karigane because, you know, maybe it matched with a mapley taste. Let's see how it goes. I'm really excited to try this one. Okay, Lilac Savina, Dana, Raquel, welcome to practice today. We're just wrapping up Cold Brew Challenge, the August monthly challenge at the Curious. Just a couple experiments we've done. That's a beautiful color. Wow. Holy crap. Nice. This is a maple water we infused for about 20 hours with karigane. Beautiful color. It's viscous. Stephen, look at it bouncing around. See this? What I'm talking about is it's not as obvious on camera, but the way that the liquor is bouncing around, it's quite thick. I'm guessing the texture is going to be really good on this. Of course, maple water does have like natural sugars in it that's causing this to happen as well. So, but I'm excited to see what happens with the texture. Wow, this is too good today. I'm cashing in my tea karma today. Steven, drink the fuck out of this. This is so good. You're gonna be angry. You'll be really angry.
Wow.
Wow. You guys, we're being really, really tea lucky today. It's paying to be tea curious today. My God, that's delicious.
People would pay money for that.
I would pay money for the San Pellegrino situation and this too. Oh my God. Yeah. I keep saying today's going really well, but today's going really, really well. Wow. Oh my God. Get out of here. That tastes like maple syrup. It's just like, we should tell people in Canada, you don't gotta boil down your maple water, just infuse it with karigane, it's gonna taste like maple syrup. This is so, so good. It's so sweet. It's got the caramelized, kind of beautiful, you know, brown sugar note because of the karigane. I actually wish we had like a darker roasted karigane because I want it to go even deeper, more caramelized. But it's fresh because the karigane is not too darkly roasted. You still got some kind of like nice, vibrant green tea flavors in it. But you also have that dark, roasty, umami, delicious. It's just a tiny bit savory. Oh, it's so good. Wow. It's just delicious. Oh my God. Maple water, man, and tea. Wow. That's really, really good. It's almost upsetting how good this is. I will say though, you can't chug this. This is very, very rich. Who knew that about cold brew? Wow. Whew. Wow. I think I could even drink that in just a tiny shot glass because it's so intense, but really delicious. Try some more, Stephen. Wow. Just successes all around. Okay. So, check mark. That's 5 out of 5 so far, Stephen. Oh my God. Even the one I thought I didn't like, the 2002 aged oolong with ice brew went well too. Now I'm kind of nervous about what that means about my karma with this last one we're going to try out. This, my friends, is... What do you think this is?
What do you think this is?
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is...
Well, we don't know yet. But
this is coconut water with pulp because I forgot that some coconut water comes with pulp. I wanted to cold brew tea in coconut water, but I didn't want to cold brew it with the pulpy one. I just forgot which brand was which and didn't read the label, so that's why it's got little floaties. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the coconut pulp out I didn't do it on purpose. Like that wasn't supposed to happen. But yeah, let's see if I can fish it out. The tea that I used, can you just think about what tea in the tea world always gets mashed up with coconut all the fucking time? Like a lot. I don't know why, but like everyone makes tea coconut flavored like this. Can you guess which one we're using? It's a little bit lighter colored, and I'll give you a guess. It's not green tea. What do you think this tea is? A lot of the really, really big tea shops have a version of this flavored tea. It's a tea that naturally has some like tropical kind of floral flavors to it. While I clean this filter out. Last guesses. Okay, this is Baozong Oolong. You know, have you noticed there's so much coconut Baozong on the market? Or coconut like Taiwanese oolong? People are like, wow, it's tropical and fruity, and Taiwan's kind of in the tropics, so let's make a coconut Taiwanese oolong. So coconut Baozong. I used to have quite a bit of coconut baozong that was gifted to me. I didn't like it very much. I like the concept of it. And yeah. Let's see if actually infusing the baozong in coconut water will bring out that tropical thing that they wanted to get out of it. I don't think I'm gonna strain the pulp out. Alright. So again, we've had a really, really good couple rounds. I'm worried about my karma, my tea karma. Can we possibly have a 6 out of 6 day with all these crazy experiments? Let's see. Oh, it smells good. Ooh, we might have a 6 out of 6 day, Steven. Yes! This is so delicious, Steven. Drink this. Wow! Yes! That's really good. That's really, really tasty. Yeah. Wow! We did it, you guys. Oh my god, in all our infinite craziness, we had a 6 out of 6 day again. We had like a really good luck day with the La Croix and the Maple Water day the other time. That's delicious. It's very tropical and zesty and refreshing and wow. Like if you just put a little bit of like, what's that drink? Like coconut rum in it? That's like a fancy drink. Holy crap. Wow, you can see the color also changed from the oolong. So it does have a little bit of oolong taste. So what I love about this is that even, I'd say the oolong flavor is not that big on it, but whatever's there perfectly fits with the coconut. Like it's just seamless. It doesn't even taste like it's been infused in something else and it's another thing that you added. It just feels like a drink. Like you just got that from a plant or something. So no wonder why they keep doing that. No wonder why people always make coconut baozong, because it's such a good natural like fit. Oh my god, that's really, really good. By the way, we're using really good baozong for this too. We're using Floating Leaves as Farmer's Choice, which is our favorite baozong in the United States, I would say. It's amazing baozong oolong. I didn't used to like baozong very much until I had Shoen and Noah's baozong, and this is just amazing. So really good baozong, and then a pretty good coconut water equals perfect. It just works. It works. Right, Stephen? Am I not crazy? Am I just like trying to like make myself feel better for all the craziness? I think it actually does work. Wow, that's incredible, and the texture is very good too. Yeah, it's like I can't even say what's in front and what's in the back because all of it tastes like it's just together. That's really, really good. I am very happy with our results. Wow. Okay. I don't think we have time to do our little cold brew with the bottles, so we'll do that on a different day. Maybe tomorrow. We'll let them sit for one more day or so. I don't know. Or we'll put in a blog post or something like that. But, wow. Cold brew challenge, man. Like the tea gods have shown done on us. It's fantastic. It pays off sometimes to like take a little bit of a risk. I mean, it is money that we're spending to try to like do this. So let's wrap up. You know, we did the ice brew with black tea and aged oolong. You know, in theory, someone should have called the tea police, especially on Steven, for this extremely expensive tea that you put over ice. But it works. Delicious, fantastic, really, really good. I think it just shows that we shouldn't have this mental block of not using good tea for cold brew, because it's just a different approach, you know? If you ask a lot of the tea masters that I know, they're really not that rigid about stuff. Like, they're not going to be like, how dare you use my tea for ice brew. You know, they actually like to experiment and stuff like that. So wins here. Feel free to use ice brew for different kinds of tea. Just make sure you use a higher quality tea so it can stand up to the ice. It's kind of slowly melting. So win and win, plus 3 points. And then our San Pellegrino, which is a collaboration with Shiloh. Silver Needle was amazing. Holy crap. We flash steeped the Silver Needle just to get it kind of like primed, because Silver Needle is kind of fuzzy and it takes a little bit of time for water to seep in. Overnight brew, more or less. Fucking delicious. Same thing with the Darjeeling. Trying to think about Darjeeling, you know, champagne of tea. Delicious. Holy crap. Fantastic. I really recommend you guys do this, especially if you pour out a little bit of the San Pellegrino on top, so you don't do what I did. Because the carbonation is gonna come up. And then, yeah, we also did the maple water. That was really delicious. Tasted like maple syrup with the karigane, you know, roasted kukicha gyokuro. Friggin' delicious. Again, pretty intense. I think I drink this in a shot glass because it infused very, very heavily. Probably because of the tiny bottle too. The intensity was strong. No bitterness whatsoever. And then finally our really odd looking coconut water and baozong cold brew. Fantastic, perfect match, perfectly marries the two flavors. You won't even know that you infused something else in something in this one. So plus 2 points, plus 2 points, plus 1 point, plus 1 point. 6 points for us today. Against like I don't know who's on the other side. There's no evil. Yeah, it's just all too good today. Wow, fantastic. But anyway, I hope you guys had fun with us today. Thank you so much for being patient with our crazy experiments and our like just exploring around. I think like Claire said, there's an arc in rigidity of tea. I really think that, yeah, we start out kind of wanting to do the right thing, but honestly, the tea just wants you to experiment with it and be open to what the possibilities are. Yeah. I hope you guys also take part in your own experiments, you know, both for Cold Brew Challenge happening today, finishing up today, but also in the future. Expand your tea repertoire, you know, because now that we know this stuff, there are so many more people we can serve this and get into tea. Just like insidiously insert the tea love into them using like San Pellegrino Silver Needle. It's amazing. So think about what you can do. Think about whatever's in your fridge that you want to infuse tea with. If it works, fantastic. If it's not gonna work, that's fantastic too, because it's part of the development process. You know, every single thing is a lesson. It just expands your flavor library, expands your options. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get going. We're gonna take some of these for the road. Gotta hop off. But thank you so much for joining us for both today's live and for Cold Brew Challenge. It's been really, really, really fun. Last minute ones, post them on Instagram under hashtag Cold Brew Challenge 2020, and then post them also on the Discord. Share them even beyond today, just like a cold brew and stuff. Yeah. All right, let's go. See you guys later. Bye bye.